How's it going, folks? I'm down at the Ipswich house and I wanted to talk nutrient banks in aquaponics using this neglected system as a bit of an example. Obviously, we have some plants still growing in here. They may not look as healthy as they could be, not these ones in particular. I dare say we have a little bit of a nitrogen deficiency and possibly a bit of a magnesium one as well. Now these plants have just been running on the nutrient bank that is left in the media. That is all the fine particulate waste and all the nutrients suspended in the water that makes it through to the grow beds. And yeah, that's pretty much all they've been living on. Now this system, when it was growing, had some absolutely cracker Chinese amaranth plants in here. You can see from the root section left from this plant here, a little bit is reshot, that yeah, absolutely massive plants. They're pushing on the top of the greenhouse, the shade house, but they had to come out because they were just taking up too much nutrients, because I knew removing the fish from the system would leave a deficit in there, and I wanted as much nutrient as possible to go to the remaining plants I had in here. There's some green onions that Kira's slowly harvested back and just left the one. The thyme here didn't make it, unfortunately. Such is life, but the lemongrass and this black turmeric look to have done okay. Now you can, as I said before, see some deficiency in there. Some of these leaves have got a little bit of necrosis around the outside. So while they are not growing as healthily as they could, they are doing okay with no fish in the system. As you can see down in there are no fish in the system. They're all out now at Hamish's place at the Naughty Goat Farm. Actually, they used to be at Hamish's place at the Naughty Goat Farm. They're now in their bellies because they did a big harvest recently, threw some in the fridge, and yeah, they said they made a cracker of a curry out of them. So what we have left here are plants, basically growing on the nutrient bank that was created by the waste generated by the fish while they were in here. And yeah, it's just deposited the small fine particulate in the media beds as well as the suspended nutrients in the water itself. And I dare say that there may be a little bit of nutrient being returned to the system from all this dead matter on the surface. There would be some compost worms in here. Yeah, see this root section from this old amaranth is just broken down entirely. So a lot of those nutrients would be going back into the system. You can see a couple of little composting bugs in there, breaking down those nutrients. So yes, you do end up with a bit of a nutrient bank in your aquaponics system after a while, and it really comes in handy when you're swapping over. So like Hamish harvested the large fish from his system. He's only got small little fingerlings in there that you can check out in that video there, and they will be producing not as much nutrients as he needs to keep the system running, but because of the nutrient bank, those plants that he has running at the moment will do okay. I think he's got mainly tomatoes at the moment because we're running into winter. They haven't replanted it. Just a quick heads up for you folks who may be new to aquaponics, or maybe this is the first time you've seen it and would like to know more. I do have a Backyard Aquaponics beginner's guide available. It is an online guide, $19.95 US, and it covers everything from what is aquaponics all the way through to how to start your own system, including how to build a small one using recycled components and some basic plumbing bits and pieces. And then it carries on into managing the system, how to look after your plants, suggestions for plants when you first start off, and that sort of thing. So do check it out. There is a link down below, and if you do get stuck after you purchase the guide, you can ask me 2 free questions over there, which I don't tend to close off very quickly, just to get you out of the woods if you're having problems with your build or some issues that may arise after you start running your system and cycling it and that sort of thing. So do check it out. So that's enough of me spruiking my wares. Now back to the video. Well, one lot of plants that has done fairly well, except for the blooming Queensland fruit fly that keeps striking them, are the plants over here in this dual root zone bed. We have chilies over the back in a soil pouch, and we have this black turmeric here that is doing much better than the ones that you saw over on that side there. It is also in a soil pouch as well. So yeah, I think this plant here will be going back up to us with us this trip. I'm taking some plants up back to the farm, so I'll be taking that black turmeric up with us, maybe that chili after a little bit of a haircut. save some of the green ones that haven't been stung. Oh, they've all been blooming stung. Yeah, I might give this one a trim back and take him up. So nutrient banks in aquaponics are important. They come into play when you're really starting out in the system as well. When you first plant out those seedlings while you're cycling the system, there is not going to be a lot of nutrients in there. That is why myself and pretty much anyone who knows anything about aquaponics will recommend you just start off with a couple of small leafy greens or some small herbs like thyme or basil, something like that you can keep well maintained. Pop them in the system first, because you're not going to have the amount of nutrients in there to, say, support a single capsicum or chili, sweet pepper, or hot pepper, or even a tomato plant. The nutrients those plants require will not be there. Generally speaking, for every square metre or 3 foot by 3 foot square growing space, you need roughly around about 20 grams minimum just to fish feed, just to keep those greens going in 1 square metre. And when you're looking at, say, tomatoes, beds full of tomatoes or other fruiting, high nutrient demanding plants, you're looking at anywhere from 50 grams upwards, 50 grams minimum upwards to sustain growth in those beds. And that's if you're just relying on fish feed to keep those plants growing. There are folks, Hamish has done it, I've done it, other people have done it. They've supplemented their systems with an organic fish emulsion that has a little bit of extra ammonia, urea, ammonium, and some forms of nitrate in there, but a whole host of other elements as well. And they've popped little bits, and I mean little bits of that, into the grow beds themselves where the water comes in, and that allows any of the ammonia in those little capfuls of fertilizer to be processed all the way through to nitrate. So it's not harmful to the fish, and also adds a little bit of extra nutrients in there just to keep your plants growing healthily. Not only that, it may help you start off your fruiting plants a little bit earlier. That's one of the reasons why I like to cycle my system with something like the Charlie Carp fish emulsion, because I know I'm creating a nutrient bank within the system that I could start off with, say, 1 small fruiting plant. I would say a tomato, but everyone knows tomatoes turn into massive vines. Yeah, 1 small fruiting plant, say like a pepper or an eggplant, something like that when you first start out. And then as the more food goes into the system, you can start to increase the amount of greens and also fruiting plants in there. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop this little video up. It might help a few of you folks out there. And as you saw earlier, we still do have the Aquaponics Beginner's Guide available, $19.95 US. There will be a link down below. I also do have a few aquaponics bits and pieces, testing kits, whatnot. I think there's 1 API Master freshwater test kit left at a very cheap price over on our website. Something will pop up here at the end. Link also down in the description. And hopefully, fingers crossed, in a week or 2, I will be back with some more aquaponic content. For now, I hope you're enjoying the farm stuff, and I'll pretty much let you go. Hope you have a top one. Cheers, folks, and happy growing. And just for those folks who say you don't get weeds in aquaponics, this is a Chinese celtus. I'd say a bird has come and pooped in our grow beds and left us that. Anyway, one for the compost.